Do you want to buy a bank? Or do you want to buy an insurance company? Well, good news. Ethiopia is opening up its capital market. If you're asking what the capital market is, basically it means everyone can buy shares and stocks of a bank. But you're going to probably be asking, oh, I can already buy the share or the stock of a bank. But technically you can't trade them. You can't trade them legally. There's no legal framework to trade stock in Ethiopia or any other financial commodities, including currencies. So, what does Ethiopia's opening up of the capital market bring to the game? This is Arts Business Cafe. I'm Bruk Aseged, and today we're going to be talking about the new opening of Ethiopia's capital market. In last week's episode, we talked about Ethiopia's banking sector, how it's going modern, how it's going digital, and we talked about the challenges it would face when international competition arises. Ethiopia is opening up its financial sector. Part of this new liberalization of the financial sector is the opening up of a capital market, stock exchange. So basically, on a stock exchange, a company's value is determined by the market, but not by a fixed price. So, Dashen Bank shares may go up to 500,000 birr per share, and they may drop to 100,000 birr per share due to some bad news. That's the challenge of a capital market. But now, Ethiopia's capital market being liberalized or being started creates a whole new set of opportunities for small businesses as well as large corporations. So, let's understand the dynamics that it will create for large businesses, and we'll proceed to the small business. Basically, when we're talking about the opportunity it creates for large businesses, it means it gives them a possibility to expand and the possibility for shareholders to make profits out of their shares. Ethiopia's current stock market is, well, a stock market. No one is trading legally. It's just exchange of shares through somewhat fishy ways. But there we see a lot of stockbrokers walking around. We see shares being sold on Facebook. We see people trading the shares, but there is no legal framework. And this new stock market authority, this Ethiopian Capital Market Authority, creates some sort of legal framework of how shares and stocks can be traded between companies. Now, what does it mean to small businesses? For small businesses, it creates an opportunity for them to raise funds. That's the primary goal, as the Ethiopian government has said in numerous occasions, to open up Ethiopia's capital market, to create and give opportunity to small and medium enterprises to grow public, to grow and scale. That is the largest opportunity the capital market opens to small and medium enterprises. But how does it create that dynamics? So basically, a company is valued through certain types of valuation processes. Depending on the type of company, the method of valuation is different. For a tech company, you can't count the assets. Basically, the value of that company is defined by its brand, by its title. For example, Facebook doesn't have a lot of assets, but it is one of the largest valued companies in the whole world. When we come to the context of Ethiopia, Ride is not a company with a lot of assets, but it is one of the most valuable companies in Ethiopia. On the contrary, there are numerous factories that they have a lot of assets worth billions, which in turn have some sort of devaluation that comes with time. I'm not an accountant, but there is some sort of different dynamics between a company, a tech company, and a company with a lot of fixed assets. So when a company is valuated, people can buy shares of that company. Let's assume I have a startup called Bruk Deliver. Bruk Deliver delivers food from Addis Ababa to Adama. When we evaluate this company, we currently have no assets, we don't have any software, and we don't have any motorbikes or drivers. But we see the potential of the company and we evaluate it at, let's say, 100 million birr. So how does this play into the capital market? So we can basically sell shares of Bruk Deliver to investors who believe in this venture, for example, 20 million birr cash for 20% of the company. So basically, we sold a company which we assume to be worth 100 million birr, 20% of that company for 20 million birr. Now I have 20 million birr that I can use to fund this business, and in return give the investors 20 million birr worth of their money or their investments plus profit. So this is the new dynamics of the capital market. Basically, venture capital grows, angel investment growth, and businesses flourish. And people can not only profit from shares through dividends, but they can profit through selling shares. The Ethiopian stock market opening, the capital market opening, creates this immense opportunity to grow businesses. Now, this is the advantage it gives to small businesses. When we consider large businesses, on the other hand, shareholders or stock owners of banks and companies can profit from selling their shares at a time where the value of that company is higher than it was when they bought it. This is basically the Ethiopian version of Wall Street. Now, you've probably repeatedly heard me say banks, 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 because banks and insurance companies are the most likely to be joining the Ethiopian capital market, the public listing. You see, there are different levels of capital markets. There's the public offerings and there's the smaller scale capital markets. But now we're talking about the large scale capital market. So when we're talking about the large scale capital market, you need some sort of level of valuation to penetrate that market. The Ethiopian Capital Exchange Authority, a new authority or governing body which controls the stock exchange from any fraudulent movements, has prepared and shared a draft legislation for public opinion. Now, when that legislation is passed, the Ethiopian capital market can go into full function. Banks can go into listing. Other companies which could be valued at a higher rate will be able to enter the capital market and raise funds. And privately held companies may be obligated to join the public market when they reach a certain level of valuation, a certain level of capital, hence creating a more equivalent wealth among individuals. The question is, are companies ready to go public? How many of the Ethiopian companies are ready to go public in a few years, in a few months, and as immediately as the stock market is opened, the capital market is opened? That is the critical question, and that is the elephant in the room, the question we need to seriously ask. And on the other hand, what is the level of knowledge individuals have about the capital market? We at ArtsTV and through Arts Business Cafe are trying to create a level of awareness to individuals about the capital market, but it is still at a very, very low level. We now hear that there are a lot of business schools opening up, giving opportunities for people to learn about the stock exchange, about stock brokerage, share brokerage, and other types of capital market assets that can be traded. That is a very good start, but still a lot of work is needed. On next week's episode, we'll be diving deep into capital market assets and what can be traded on capital markets. This is Bruk Aseged. Thank you and have a good night.